Welcome into Sports Memo's Betting Podcast, Monday, October 21st. This is NFL Opening Line Report with Teddy. Covers each and every Monday. Teddy, welcome into the pod. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Joe. I didn't have a great weekend, unfortunately, for myself and the clients, and I've been saying that a lot this month. So I'm a little bit frustrated on a Monday morning. That being said, what you know how sometimes you're in a funk and something just snaps and you're like, okay, I see things. You know, I feel like last night / this morning, I've been in a funk all month. And all of a sudden it's like, no, dude, this is a good play. This is a good play. This is a good play. For what it's worth, I feel pretty good about the card this coming week. And hopefully we'll be able to share some insights with our viewing audience.
Well, I think it should work. I mean, over the last 5 years in the NFL, 189 and 142, that's 57% in the NFL since 2015. Not many people in the business, if any at all, doing that well in the NFL. Teddy covers alongside each and every Monday. Sports Memo NFL Opening Line Report. Teddy, let's hit on the Monday Nighter right here real quick. We got New England at the New York Jets, seeing 9.5 or 10s. Most 10s in Las Vegas, 9.5 in other places, seeing 43 as the total. I see a home double-digit underdog. I like what I see there, Teddy. What are you feeling?
Well, I mean, let's start with this, okay? If you're looking at, if you have to play this game, the only way, if I had to play this game, the only way I could do is play the Jets. I mean, really, the New England has fraudulent stats. They played nothing but weaklings. They have already beaten the Jets and aren't inclined to win by margin. It's not a game where we're looking for the Patriots to do anything but win and get out of town. All right. All that being said, every time I've made a case for the Patriots over the last 15 years, I've lost. You know, I'm betting against the Patriots. I mean, it's not once, It's not twice. This is an extended track record for New England. They are, whatever trends you can find, New England breaks the trends. Whatever statistical-based handicapping that you're looking at, New England breaks those. They're 63% over the last 15 years against the spread. Okay.
Wait, can you say that again?
Counting every game. 63% over 15 years, the New England Patriots under Belichick and Brady. 63%. I'll say it again.
Wow.
6-3. Blindly betting them in every game. Difficult team to bet against, even at this stage. They're covering spreads again this year. And my bigger issue, okay, because everything I have points towards the Jets. Clients and I cashed it with the Jets last week. The Jets getting Mosley back. I believe the Jets are the markets haven't given them as much credit as I think they deserve with Sam Darnold back at QB. Everything says Jets here. You know, Patriots are primed for some comeuppance, et cetera, et cetera. And then you look at the injury report. And the Jets' offensive line is in shambles tonight. It's an absolute shambles. Let's see. They're without tight end Chris Herndon. They're without Kelvin Beacham's not going to play, the tackle. They're without Osemele, the guard. He's not rated out. Brian Winters is very questionable this evening. Ryan Khalil, very questionable this evening. I don't know if either guy will suit up. If they suit up, I don't know if they're going to last the whole game. That's their starting offensive line. They're all there on the injury report, either questionable, doubtful, or out. Can't do it. Can't get there. Lean Jets. I will watch this game. I will not bet on it.
Man, Teddy, you make a compelling point. 63% last 15 years in the Belichick-Brady era. That is, that's mind-boggling. Have you ever seen anything like that long-term?
Nothing close.
Okay.
I mean, not even close. But again, it speaks to the fact that New England consistently outperforms their statistical profile. That's all this is about. Okay, it's not about public sharps and pros and Joes. This is about a statistical profile for the Patriots and a Patriots team that, from a point spread perspective, has consistently overachieved based on their numbers, their yardage numbers, their statistical numbers, year in, year out.
And is there a reason why that happens in the NFL? Is it because of the quarterback, in your opinion?
I'd give the head coach a fair bit of credit there too.
Okay, so it's a mixture of those two things, head coach and quarterback.
I mean, remember what you guys, I don't know if you remember this. Brady missed his full season. He got hurt in week 1 or week 2, and Matt Castle
went to the playoffs. Yeah.
They didn't go to the playoffs because they won 11 games and were shut out from the playoffs.
And Ronnie Brown and the Dolphins. They
won 11-5 that year. They made a ton of money for everyone that bet them. And think about the rest of Matt Castle's career. Anywhere did he have any success.
Right.
Okay, so Brady's going to get the credit. Belichick gets the credit, dude. It's all Belichick.
Great stuff, Teddy. On the Monday nighter, we got Thursday night action this week. Washington at Minnesota, seeing the Vikings, big favorite here at home, Teddy. 15 in the hook, seeing 42 as the total. Low total with a big favorite, man, in the NFL. Thursday nighter, any interest here, Washington, Minnesota?
So what we do, of course, on the opening line report, we want to give the look-ahead line from last week. I'm going to give you my power rating number after yesterday's games, and then we'll take a look at what the market's likely to do. The goal is not to handicap every game and give you a side and total for every game. The goal is, what do we want to bet now? What do we want to wait on? And the look-ahead line here was Minnesota minus 14.5. My power rating number is Minnesota minus 16. Was 15.5 last night, and yeah, we're seeing 16s popping up today. This line's not going down, okay? When you talk about, and Callahan in Washington, I know he's not a rookie head coach, but this is the moral equivalent of a rookie head coach on a short week. And, we've seen that already coming into fruition twice this year. Vic Fangio didn't have his team, Broncos team, ready last week. The coaches that don't have the experience in these spots really struggle, and I'm not convinced this is a Callahan spot in this one. And then, of course, Washington's offense, everyone said, Dwayne Haskins, bring it Dwayne. Dwayne Haskins can't play, all right? Every coach on the team is saying Dwayne Haskins isn't ready. You want to bring him back out there to get killed? You can't. Case Keenum was awful yesterday. Adrian Peterson, who's now the focal point of the offense, 2 weeks, 2 fumbles. Both of them cost Washington severely. One was at the goal line yesterday. The one set San Fran up for their first score. It's a Redskins team that's not going to be taking any money, all right? If you like Minnesota, you may as well get involved or, get involved sooner rather than later. This line's not going down. Washington is, when you look at the bottom 4 or 5 teams in the NFL, those are teams that are really struggling, even to attract some wise guy money. That's the case here with the Redskins. Nobody wants the Redskins right now.
Teddy, let's move to the Sunday slate. 10 a.m. Pacific kicks here. We got 251, 252 at the top of the card. New York Giants, Detroit Lions at home, seeing mostly 7s here. The Lions laying at home, 50 the total across the board, Teddy.
Did you get an emergency betting alert signal?
No, I haven't, man. And
me neither. Yeah. So we have to do it ourselves. Let's do it. Doodly-oop, doodly-oop, doodly-oop.
I like it. All right.
This is your one. This is your emergency betting alert. The Lions aren't going to hold at 7. If you like the Giants at +7, take them now. Detroit's injury report is ugly. Their defense got riddled. Yeah, I mean, their defense got riddled by Minnesota yesterday. It had injuries going in. It came out, Stax Harrison's hurt now and Darius Slay's hurt now. And you can anticipate, even though the Giants had a pretty rough day themselves yesterday, I would expect Giants money here. The 7s will not last. Should not last. If you like the G-men, +7 is a bet to make sooner rather than later.
All right, Lions banged up there on the top of the card. We got a second game up here, 253, 254, 10 a.m. Pacific kick. Tampa Bay at Tennessee, 46.5 being the total. Man, the Titans are laying points, 2.5, just under a field goal here in Nashville, Teddy.
Well, of course, I forgot to give I said I'm going to give the look-ahead lines and then my powering number for every game, and I didn't give it on the Giants Lions. My look-ahead line in that game was Lions the look-ahead line. These are bettable numbers from the Westgate Superbook last week. Lions -7.5. My powering number, Lions -7. Even with that, I would anticipate that we'll see Giants money. We've already seen some. When it comes to the Bucs and the Titans, the look-ahead line here was Tennessee -2.5. My powering number is Tennessee -4. I gave Tennessee a boost with Ryan Tannehill. Look, the offense was way better yesterday. Tannehill only took 2 sacks. There was a downfield passing game. Now, of course, they were extremely lucky to win the game based on 2 very, very questionable spots and then a fumble right at the end at the goal line. But they won the game. Which gives a dead, not a dead team life, but Tennessee's my number is 4, and I was surprised my number is as far off the market as it is. But I had to upgrade the Titans off of yesterday's performance and off the fact they won that game with a quarterback and a win. They need a little upgrade. Tampa, of course, will be coming off the bye. They played poorly in their last 2 games prior to the bye. Jameis Winston throwing 5 picks. And had 7 turnovers in that ugly London loss. One would anticipate. I'm not convinced this is getting up to 3. It might. But I think at 3 we'll see immediate buyback for Tampa. This is a game that feels like it's going to bounce in the 2.5 range for much of the week. Total-wise, 46.5. Haven't seen any movement yet.
Teddy, next game up, we got the L.A. Chargers at the Chicago Bears here. Bears laying 4.5 or 5.5 in Soldier Field, 40 being the total.
Yeah, if we'd have done this podcast an hour ago, I'd have given you the emergency betting alert for this game, but it's already happened. The money is poured in on the Chargers this morning. Look headline was 6. My powering number 5.5. The market's open 5.5, 6, and now it's basically 4.5s across the board. I'm even seeing 4s here in Vegas right now. So there's been a fairly heavy move on the Chargers already this morning. And the Chargers were saying all the right things after they lost again yesterday, and they're certainly not getting blown off the ball. And, I mean, the Bears with Trubisky, there was one point where Chicago, I think it was after the first quarter, where Chicago had been outgained 283-23 by New Orleans over like a 3-quarter span in that game. Bears offense isn't working, and the markets know that already, and we would anticipate the Chargers money. It's already come. I don't know if we'll see a lot more, but we're not going to see Chicago money. The defense has declined, and the offense has fallen apart, and the Bears took a ton of money yesterday, and everyone that backed them in that game is not going to be in a rush to get back to the window laying points with Chicago. I expect Chargers money. We've already seen some.
Good stuff, Teddy. We got a limited marketplace here in the next game. Seattle at Atlanta. The one line I am seeing up, 54 being the total, 3.5. That's Seattle on the road.
Yeah, that's just a look-ahead line. There's not a bettable number. Matt Ryan's questionable.
Okay.
The backup QB for Atlanta is Matt Schaub. I don't know that it matters. I'm hoping Ryan plays so I get another bet in against the Falcons. I do. Atlanta's a quit team right now.
Okay.
Look-ahead line here was 3. My powering number is 6, and I think my powering number is short. Atlanta's, their defense is checked out. And and Blank, again, Blank is a classy guy. He doesn't fire coaches midseason. There's no reason to fire Quinn midseason. But everyone knows it's a lame duck head coach. And that's going to be the case moving forward with Atlanta. They're not a team that I want any part of. So, again, I'm hoping that Ryan is healthy enough to play. We'll get a better number betting against them. And I don't think they're going to be a whole lot worse with Schaub behind center than they would be with Ryan behind center. It's a team problem right now. We saw the drops. We saw all the things that teams that were expected to be good that aren't good do yesterday. With the drops and the missed assignments and just the lack of focus from a squad that expected much better things. That's going to continue for Atlanta. And then the markets may well reflect that by the time this line reopens. But if Ryan plays, I think the number will be right there, 3.5 or 4. I think that's very cheap, especially with Seattle coming off a poorly played loss at home yesterday. Seahawks, I would expect to come to play in this one. They've been very good in those early start East Coast games.
Teddy, we got another limited marketplace game here with the Jets playing tonight. They're on the road next week at Jacksonville, seeing the Jags 4.5, 41 being the total.
Look ahead line here was Jags minus 4.5. My power rating number is Jags minus 6.5, but I've downgraded the Jets because of all those offensive line injuries. The markets haven't done that. The markets don't pay attention to offensive line injuries. If the Jets' offensive line gets healthier, then obviously that number would go down on Jacksonville. But, when you talk about in the trenches, I adjust my power ratings every week for in the trenches stuff, and the Jets are a mess in that regard right here. But, the markets prior to Monday Night Football, 4.5 and 41. If the Jets look really good tonight, if the Jets win this game or come close, that number will be lower. That being said, the Jags got the money. The Jags took a bunch of money yesterday and got the money after taking a bunch of money. The Sharps liked them. The public liked them. Jacksonville, the mustache man is a betting bandwagon just waiting to happen. You know what I mean? A couple of wins from the Jags, and they're going to attract more betting attention than your average sub-500 team. Personally, I think that even though my powering number is 6.5, the Jags aren't a team I'm excited about laying more than a field goal with. They're not there. That offense is still, they have one touchdown the last. They broke a 3-game touchdown-free streak in the second half yesterday against Cincy, and even that wasn't easy or pretty.
Teddy, next game up, back into the full marketplace here. We got Philadelphia at Buffalo. Bills laying 1.5 or 2 against the Eagles. 43 being the total here, Teddy.
Yeah, look ahead line here was Pick'em. My powering number is the Bills minus 2. Philly coming off a pretty demoralizing loss on Sunday Night Football against a division opponent in which they were just, basically no-shows from the get-go. They're an injury-riddled team. They're facing a lot of adversity right now. And they're facing a Bills squad. Again, the betting bandwagon for Buffalo is come and gone now. Oh, well, Bills didn't cover yesterday. And then it was an ugly game against Miami. Dolphins had life in that game. Bills didn't put them away. Buffalo's not a team built to lay 17 points. They're a team built to lay 1.5 or 2. And we've already seen a little bit of wise guy money on Buffalo so far this morning. The injury report for Philly is not getting any better. And There's some clear concerns for that team that the markets are starting to reflect. This line more likely to go up than down, I think. But at the same time, from a spot standpoint, if Philly doesn't circle the wagons here, they're not circling the wagons. So I don't think this gets to 3. I would anticipate it's going to hang around in this 1.5 to 2.5 range all week.
I like that, circle the wagons. If it doesn't happen here, it ain't going to happen. Good one there, Teddy. We got Cincinnati at the LA Rams up next. Rams at home, 12.5, 48.5 the total, Teddy.
London. This is a London game.
All right. Nice call.
Look ahead line here, Rams minus 9.5 on the neutral field. My powering number, Rams minus 11 on the neutral field. But the betting markets are coming pretty close to crashing on Cincinnati right now. And again, these bottom teams in the NFL this year, I know the bottom teams are bad every year. The Bengals, the Redskins, the Dolphins, these are teams that I have power rated as low as any team I've had in the NFL the last. And there's multiple of them. There's not just one. There's a whole group of them. The markets are even lower on Cincinnati than I am right now because I've gotten to LA as a top 5 team still. They got a noticeable boost yesterday with Jalen Ramsey on the field. But, again, they faced a team that wasn't there, in Atlanta. Atlanta was just, and they're being priced like they did, like they accomplished something. Look ahead line here was 9.5, and now we're 12.5, 13, and they didn't do anything. All they did was beat a team that didn't show up. And they still couldn't run the football, which is even more concerning for L.A. Rams are staying in Atlanta during the week. They're practicing at Georgia Tech, and then they're flying over to the UK on Thursday. I have not yet seen what the Bengals are doing on their postseason trip in terms of when they're going over there. But again, it's a rookie head coach doing all this for the first time. And Zach Taylor looks completely overmatched right now. That being said, Zach Taylor's the Sean McVay assistant. Maybe he knows something about what the Rams are trying to do. We're not likely to see a whole lot of Cincy money this week already. We've seen the money come on LA. The Bengals, again, those bottom teams are just not getting anything in the markets right now. And Cincy, a team that multiple bookmakers that I've talked to here in Vegas has said, I don't know how we attract Bengals money. We're trying to attract some. It's just not coming in.
But, Teddy, on the flip side, what? LA's staying in Atlanta, practicing at Bobby Dodd, then flying across. It's not necessarily a situation that's like a recipe for success over there in London. Is that enough for you to maybe look for taking the points against Cincinnati or with Cincinnati?
Anytime you take Cincinnati, you're taking a leap of faith that the other team's not going to be fully focused. That's what the games the Bengals are covering. Okay. So am I excited? So I don't fully understand the question. You mean that the fact that the Rams are staying in Atlanta for a couple days?
It just seems kind of like, that's not a routine. And I like to kind of bet on teams like in a routine. You just played Atlanta, a team that's not necessarily focused. Now you're staying in Atlanta. You're practicing in Bobby Dodd, then leaving on Thursday to go all the way over to Europe. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a situation where I want to be laying 2 touchdowns.
I'm not going to have a ticket on my Rams in my pocket. The time to bet the Rams was yesterday. The clients and I cashed with LA yesterday. Mm-hmm. I would not anticipate having a LA Rams ticket in my pocket this week, but I don't view it as a major negative. I'd much rather a team stay where they are and practice locally than fly home and then practice the other way. But for the Rams, obviously on the West Coast, they weren't going to do that anyway.
Okay. We got Arizona at New Orleans up next, and seeing a limited marketplace here again, Teddy. 9.5 or 10 New Orleans in the Big Easy, 48 being the total.
Oh, the Saints. Saints are 1-1, and Drew Brees gets hurt, and I'm looking at my under 10.5 wins going, yes.
Now they play some defense.
That team's been really good. That team's been really good. Make no mistake about it. No look-ahead line on this game and no line in most places on this game because we don't know yet if Drew Brees is going to play. Brees could be back as early as this week. And until weekend, Sean Payton has already said, I'll update his status every day, but we're not going to know until later in the week, et cetera, et cetera. The market's made a huge adjustment between Brees and Bridgewater. That adjustment was not warranted. They won every game since Brees got hurt and covered every point spread, I believe. Since Brees got hurt. So, again, my powering number has New Orleans minus 12.5. But all I've done is upgrade New Orleans. Every week I've upgraded New Orleans again and again and again. And that's a Teddy Bridgewater number, 12.5. Although right now, a Breeze is a better QB, and you're like, there has to be an adjustment. Maybe there doesn't. Not a big one. Anyhow, my number is higher than the market number is, although Arizona, for all the success they've had the last 3 weeks, the three teams they've beaten are all bottom feeders. New Orleans, not a bottom feeder. But at some point, the Saints should exhale. This might be the opponent they're going to do it against.
He's Teddy Covers. Follow him on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. I'm Drew Martin on Twitter at DrewMartinBets. And we got a coupon code here for the podcast, guys. You can get Teddy's 7-day all access for just $49. Huge discount there at sportsmemo.com using the coupon code TC49 at checkout. Sportsmemo.com, 7-day all access. And, of course, that includes NFL, college football, and NBA starting this week, Teddy. You getting ready for the NBA season?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I like NBA. A lot of guys really struggle in NBA. NBA's been good to me over the years, was very good to me last year. Shoot, we've hit 60% in NBA dating back to the All-Star break last year. We had a real good playoffs. We had a good closeout of the regular season. I am excited about NBA. I'm the guy, but from a betting standpoint, I love the NBA. The markets lock in on their powering numbers on teams by week 10. And then you have like 4 months of just, guess what? That team was power rated wrong at the beginning, and you can ride the same team again and again and again in the NBA in a way that I haven't found that you can do in other sports. So I'm a big fan of NBA betting, and I'm looking forward to this week.
Awesome. Yep, it's starting tomorrow, actually. So we got TC.
Yeah.
49 is the coupon code. That's TC49 at checkout. His 7-day all access for just $49, 60% in the NBA since the All-Star break. And, of course, that will include his NFL and college football as well. And he's hitting 57% in the NFL over the last 5 years. That's since 2015, 57% in the NFL. Teddy, let's move on to the afternoon games here. 1:25 Pacific kick. Oakland at Houston. We got the Texans laying 6.5 or 7, depending where you're shopping. Mostly 6 in the hooks. 50.5 being the total, Teddy.
Look ahead line, Houston minus 6.5. My powering number, Houston minus 5.5. The Raiders in some ways were a lot better than the final score would reflect yesterday. That offense moved the ball against Green Bay's defense all game long. They did it with a no-name receiving core. They ran the football effectively. Carr threw the football effectively. The offensive line looked good again. The whole game turned on that one Carr fumble when he was trying to get the touchdown. They'd have gone up into halftime with the lead. Instead, the next time they got the ball, they were down. Literally, because Green Bay scored right there, and then they scored to come out or the kickoff of the second half. Mm-hmm. So instead of going to halftime with a 17-14 lead, they went into halftime with a 21-10 deficit and then gave up a touchdown on the opening drive. The next time they got the ball back, it was 28-10 ball game. But the Raiders' offense is working right now. And now this is the end of a long, grueling stretch for Oakland. It's their 5th straight game away from home. The markets are going to reflect that. But you talked about how right now, and then, of course, the Texans coming off a game in which they a lot of self-inflicted wounds yesterday. A couple of key injuries, Will Fuller. In particular, that receiving core is so dynamic when everyone's healthy, and that's no longer the case for the Texans. But you talk about the line being in the 6.5, 7 range right now, and it is. They're legitimate 7s. They're legitimate 6.5s right now. And when I see that, I don't know that that's going to last. So I can't pinpoint. Yes, this line's going to close 7, or it's moving to 6.5. In that case, what I'll do, my recommendation in that situation when it's a split line, 6.5, 7, if you're laying, grab the 6.5s right here. If you're taking, grab the 7s right here. They're both available. They're available without a juice situation at the current marketplace, and I'm not convinced it's going to be there. I'm 24 hours from now. So whichever side you like, you can bet it now at the appropriate number and lock in at a good price.
Yeah, and in the NFL, as much as any sport out there, key numbers very important. So 6.5s and 7s both out there in the Oakland-Houston game. Make sure to shop around for the best number, guys. We got Carolina at San Francisco up next, 41 being the total. 49ers laying 5.5 or 6 at home.
Yeah, look at line here with 6. My powering number is 6. The markets are at, in the 5.5 range now, and there's definitely a little bit of sneaky Carolina money here. And the 49er injury report is not pretty. They're still missing both tackles. They're still missing their fullback. The offense hasn't worked the last 2 weeks for San Fran. It really hasn't. The defense has been good enough to win them games, and the defense has been phenomenal the last couple of weeks. But it's a Panthers team coming off a bye. Don't know yet who's going to be a QB for Carolina. But I'm confident the markets are going to see this spot for San Fran as not an optimum spot. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see more Panthers money. We've already seen a little bit again with 5.5 the prevailing number at 6. If you can find a 6, I'd grab it now. I'm not convinced they're going to be there.
Teddy, we got Denver at Indy up next. 44 being the total. Colts laying 6 at home.
Look ahead line was -4.5. My powering number is Indy -7.5. That was impressive yesterday what the Colts did. It really was. And some of it was Jacoby Brissett had a great game. A lot of it was the offensive line. Indy's really good in the trenches. The defense played well. Darius Leonard with the play at the end of the game. But honestly, I think it's Frank Reich. We talk about Belichick at the top of the show and the coaches that we want to be involved with. The creative play calling in Indy stands out. Reich coached circles around O'Brien yesterday, and it really showed. In terms of game planning, Fangio's a pretty good defensive game planner. And of course, Denver with extra time to repair off a real no-show game on Thursday night against Kansas City. I could only expect to see Indy money in this game, and it hasn't shown. Those first bets it's like two-way action on this contest for the Colts. Indy will be the public side here. I'm confident of that. And then Denver has some defensive underdog stripes to them, but we've seen some Broncos money, some sharp Broncos money this morning. Not my money, I'll tell you that way. But I keep saying it has to go up. The sharp money's come the other way. So this is not one of those games you have to rush to get to the betting window for. If you like Andy, wise guys are looking at the other side.
Couple games left here, guys, on the NFL opening line report each and every Monday with Teddy Covers, posted by noon Pacific on Mondays. And we're also simulcast on YouTube. So if you'd like to see the video, you can do that as well. Apple, iTunes, the podcast. We got Cleveland at New England up next here, Teddy. Limited marketplace with New England playing tonight, but we're seeing 10 in the hook. That's the Pats laying at Gillette. 46 being the total, Teddy.
Yeah, and again, some of these, the look-ahead line for the Niners was 6. My powering number is 6. The look-ahead line here for the Patriots is 11.5. My powering number is 11.5. Right? Spot on, as opposed to Broncos-Colts, where the look-ahead line and my powering number are 3 points difference. That's a rarity. And, of course, the market number was right in between. But here, my number and the look-ahead number and the market number are basically right in the same point here. The New England's a little bit lower than mine at 10.5 right now. But, again, if the Patriots look good tonight, that number will only go up. Spot-wise, you have to like Cleveland coming off the bye. That being said, the Browns have not moved the football effectively against good defenses yet this season. And say what you want about the Patriots' offense. That defense has been pretty good. But it's just like the Jets game, the Jets against the Jags. If you're betting on the Jets tonight, you bet the Jags right now. You'll get the best of the number if the Jets do what they're supposed to do. Same story with the Patriots. You're betting on the Patriots tonight. Bet on them against Cleveland. If the Patriots kill them, this line's not coming 11. It'll come, 10.5. It'll come 11, 12. It'll come higher. So if you have a strong opinion about tonight that is bettable, you can make 2 wagers instead of 1 and hopefully get the best of the number next week as well.
Good stuff, Teddy. We got the Sunday nighter up next. Green Bay at Kansas City. Seeing the Packers laying 4 in the hook on the road. 48 the total in Arrowhead.
Yeah, and this is one again. If we did the emergency betting alert last night, because when this line opened 3, I'm like, this is a dumb line, and I bet it right away. Because the difference between Patrick Mahomes and Matt Moore, someone was trying to tell me it's a touchdown. I'm like, no, it's not a touchdown. It's at least 10 points. Right? This is a top quartile team, top 5 team with Patrick Mahomes behind center. Matt Moore is a stiff. Okay, we've seen enough of Matt Moore. This guy's not going to be the second coming. Anyway, you can coach him up as best he can. Matt Moore's still going to make dumb decisions. He's still going to have bad throws. And the whole Chiefs offense is predicated on a quarterback who makes accurate downfield throws. Matt Moore doesn't do that. Kansas City's defense is not good. They got Denver the other night on a bad night, on a short week, et cetera, et cetera. Green Bay's not that. Okay. So it's a bad defense and a team that just lost 10 points at quarterback. The money has to come on Green Bay. It already came on Green Bay. It could well be more money for Green Bay especially with what Aaron Rodgers did yesterday, where he had, like the best game of his career, essentially. Rodgers was on fire. 8 different receivers caught multiple passes, caught at least 2 passes from Rodgers. That's an offense that's clicking and a defense that's pretty good. And Kansas City, I'm telling you, we're seeing the markets crash, absolutely crash on the Chiefs here, and I think it's warranted. You cannot compare. Say, how much is one player worth? Patrick Mahomes is worth more than anyone else in the NFL, even Tom Brady. And the markets are, they made, again, the look-ahead line here was Chiefs -4. And they made a 7-point adjustment, open to Green Bay -3. And I'm like, that's stupid. That's not enough. My powering number is Packers 4.5. And the markets have already moved there. So I apologize. We don't do the podcast Sunday night, but that was the first line. I'm like, this is a bad number. And you don't see that in the NFL. I don't make a ton of bets on Sunday nights in the NFL, but that was one that stood out to me. So I'll decide what to do with it later in the week. Right now, I got the Packers -3. This number can only go up. Though I think there'll be some public. I don't know if there'll be any public money on KC. They're just not there. Again, they're going from a top quartile team to a bottom quartile team based on one injury. And sometimes it takes the markets a little while to reflect that.
Good stuff, Teddy. Beating the market out the gate. I like that, man. We got the Monday Nighter up next. But, guys, just remember, coupon code here, TC49 at checkout. That's TC49 at checkout. Sportsmemo.com. 7-day all access. We've got NBA, college football, NFL. Get every play, every sport that Teddy covers is releasing for the next 7 days. Only $49. TC49 at checkout. Last game here, Teddy. Quick looks here. We'll be able to talk it on next NFL opening line report next Monday. Miami at Pittsburgh, 14 in the hook. That's the Steelers laying at home, 43 the total. My Dolphins, man, I thought they might get a win yesterday, Teddy. Didn't happen. You think they can stay within the number next Monday?
So Mason Rudolph is expected to be back for Pittsburgh after the bye. That's a big upgrade over Devlin Hodges, even though they did win a game with Hodges and covered another one against Baltimore. Rudolph is a downfield thrower. Hodges is not. Look headline here was Pittsburgh -16.5. My powering number is Pittsburgh -13.5. 2 weeks in a row, I've upgraded Miami. Even off a loss. They played 2 competitive games. This was a team that was non-competitive early in the season. And I remember and of course, the game against Dallas stands out to me because they were the right side, and then they ended up coming out in the second half and got, it didn't matter that they hung tough for a half. They were so inept. On both sides of the ball that that it almost got away from them, and that almost happened yesterday. Buffalo could have won that game, or Miami could have. I don't know if they could have won that game, but they played a competitive game against a divisional foe. They really looked focused against a divisional rival. But lo and behold, there's Fitzpatrick throwing a pick in the end zone, and then all of a sudden, then boom, and then it's a 10-point lead. And if you had Buffalo. And Fitzpatrick fumbles the snap and it's bouncing around there inside the 5-yard line before he falls on it. And the Bills the point is the Bills can hang around for 55 minutes and still, the Dolphins can hang around for 55 minutes and still fall apart at the end. That's the danger of betting Miami. There's no obviously groundswell of support for the Dolphins in this one, but Pittsburgh is a 14.5-point favorite. We're not going to see wise guy money on Pittsburgh. Let's just put it that way. So where's this line going to go? I say it's more likely to go down than it is to go up. If you like the Dolphins, take the hook right now. I don't know that though. Jeez, it feels like there's more likely to be Miami money than Pittsburgh money. Period. And we're taking percentage chances, and it's more likely to go down to 14 than it is to go up to 17. And if you lose the 15, so be it. So, yeah, I really wouldn't take the hook now if you like the Dolphins. I wouldn't talk you out of it. This isn't a run to the window. The first one we talked about is the run to the window. That's the 7s for Detroit. May not hold. This one, 14.5, so it could be there for a day or two.
He's Teddy Covers, 57% in the NFL last 5 years, also hitting 60% in the NBA since the All-Star break. So seeing it well on the hardwood out the gate, hopefully. I know he's got a team he likes there, and you can get every play in every sport he's handicapping for just $49 for the next 7 days. TC49 at checkout. TC49 at checkout. Guys, Make sure to, if you could, like the videos on YouTube. If you're watching it that way, feel free to comment. Reach out to us on Twitter at Teddy_covers or at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. Love to answer any questions. And Teddy, anything else you want to throw out before we shut this down?
Yeah, I want to say thanks, guys. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with me and Drew. We love doing it every Monday. We'll do it again next Monday. Enjoy the game tonight. I already say enjoy the games, but there's only one. If you're a hockey guy, there's more. But one of the last light nights on the sports betting card with NBA starting tomorrow. So cheers. Enjoy. Best of luck. We'll do it again. We'll do it again when it comes to the Sports Memo Pod later in the week, and we'll do the OLR every single Monday right here, sportsmemo.com.
Guys, best of luck with your bets. We'll talk later in the week.